Good morning.
Morning. Okay, good morning, everybody. Welcome to the April EGPOA regular board meeting. I'm going to be standing in for Patrick today to chair the meeting. Would everybody please rise for the pledge?
Allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Okay, Chris, can you call the roll?
Sure.
Thank you.
Patrick,
Here.
Earl. Dan. Colin, I see you on Zoom.
Yep, I'm here.
Thank you. Leslie.
Here.
Joel.
Here.
Beverly.
Here.
Alex. Here. Zach.
Okay, item 1 is the approval of the minutes from the March 17th regular board meeting. You can find that on page 1.
A motion.
Chris motions to approve. Chris motion to approve the board minutes from 3/17/24. Alex seconded. All of those in favor of accepting the 3/17 regular board meeting minutes, say aye.
Aye.
Those opposed, any recusals or abstentions? The motion carries to approve the March regular board meeting. Item 2 is Michael's management report.
Good. Okay.
It's gonna take a moment.
We're starting to gear up for the summer. Things are starting to get cleaned up. I don't get anything specific on there. The gates have been being worked on. We have 2 companies working on them, the gate company and the security company. One of the problems we've discovered is the magnet locks that are on there have very little tolerance. So if they get, especially the pass-through gates, the walk-through gates, if they off just a little bit, they won't lock. So we're looking into changing those around, getting something different. The boat launch gate is functioning. It's a swipe once to open. There's about a 15-second delay, and there's a swipe once to close with a 15-second delay. Brittany has ordered a couple signs for that to notify the homeowners of that. And everything else is pretty good, starting to come into play over there. The security cameras, we added a couple more cameras. Last week, we couldn't really see the end of the dock and the full beach area. And the way the cameras were set up, so 2 more cameras were added over at the pool area. So we can now see a little bit better on what's going on. You know, there was an incident a few months ago where a kid got onto the beach area, did some donuts, got off there, didn't do any damage. Just a kid being a kid. The only thing I ask if people, they see a problem with that, please contact the office. The office was a couple days later before they found out about it. Once again, our office does not monitor social media. So whatever's said on there, you think you're talking to the office, you're not. What happens is everybody gets on there, does whatever they do, and we have no idea what they're even talking about.
Was it with a motorcycle?
It was a 4-wheeler,
A
got on
four-wheeler.
there, a young kid, we can't really see where he come from. Unfortunately, it's not CSI and we can't zoom in and get DNA from the cameras and figure out who it is,
Where was
but,
this?
huh?
Where was this at?
At the pool. You know, other than that, everything's moving along. Unless you guys have a question about anything?
Are the docks in?
No,
Oh, they'll be in by May 1st.
the docs go in, last weekend. They're scheduled, the last and 29th, somewhere right around in there, they'll be.
End of April, and May,
End of April.
end of April.
Cameras, we can follow up about this, and I apologize for not thinking about this beforehand, but maybe we can look at a proposal to install some cameras at the entry points of the golf course. Just to monitor traffic in and out, and thinking particularly deterring, seems like ATV use has gone down there, which is great. I know there's posted signage, but having a way to perhaps monitor / deter, maybe just looking at some prices.
We field cam, I guess, because there's no power over there, right?
Well, that's what you would have to get some kind of power over there.
We've got batteries and field cam.
I'm not sure it's feasible, I'm just asking.
Okay. We can do that.
I put it where they park, if we have an idea where the guys are parking, so this way, because when they're on the ATV.
Yeah,
you
love
can't-
it.
You're killing them.
We just talked about that before the meeting.
Well, somehow young love always wants to grow.
Okay, next up is an update on the cardio equipment proposal, the expiring lease. So just a little bit of background. One of the two fitness center leases, there's two separate ones, is due to expire at the end of April. This particular one was for 7 pieces of cardio equipment that were originally once upon a time housed in the upper level of the pool house. The board was advised of the proposal via email this past week, highlighting, which we were noted, the time sensitive nature of the proposal, which is why it was done via email, because there was a several week delivery time issue that was in consideration under this new lease, and we had to make that decision sooner than later. So Chris volunteered and met with management on site and our current vendor, who is Advantage. They also obtained 2 additional quotes from other vendors as well. The recommended proposal that they provided for the board was a renewal with our existing vendor, who is Advantage, to lease and replace the existing 7 cardio pieces with brand new equipment for a term of 60 months at $588 per month plus tax, which also includes the service and repair of the new equipment, a service agreement. The recommendation also included a commitment to move the expiring lease back to the operating budget from the assessment budget and pay for the remainder of the year out of the TNC reserve. The votes came in and the new lease proposal was approved via the email vote. Those votes came in 8 yeses, 1 no, and 2 did not vote on the proposal. Okay.
Could I ask, Chris, what made change his mind to buy instead of, to lease instead of, buying it?
So I'm not,
Because you supported this in December. 36-month lease, due in April, buy or continue leasing. Chris supports buying. Those are my notes.
sure, so it's a fair question, I think, there's a couple things that go into that. Number one, when I said that, I didn't have prices in front of me. Number two, I think that there is, part of the question for me is what type of equipment we're talking about. And I think that, when we're talking about things with plugs and with computer chips and electronics, that there tends to be wear and tear. And we actually had Advantage come in, and test the usage on some of the equipment, and there was significant wear and tear, on the ellipticals and on the treadmills. So, I think one direct answer is that they weren't a great buy, Leslie. That they were kind of on the back end of their service life. I think there's a couple of other questions about sort of how you measure cost. And I don't want to kind of want to be clear, so I'm happy to answer follow-ups on this. Just to buy it doesn't make it free in the long term, right? So if we buy it, we either have to pay for, we either have to set aside money in a reserve to buy new equipment down the road. Or we're just gonna kick the can down to another board in the future and say, well, when this equipment kicks it, then it's gonna be some other board's problem to start a new lease and replace the equipment. So just to say we buy it outright at a pretty good cost, doesn't mean that we, get a deal. There's going to be, like, if we were a responsible board, we would have to put aside money to start saving for the new equipment as soon as we bought it. And I think also, talking with management, it's frankly easier and simpler to lease than it is to buy. That it's an easier thing to simply have a vendor where we get consistently new equipment. It simplifies service. And frankly, it's a matter of preference, right? This is the option that we voted on, just to say it loud and clear, is a more expensive option in terms of the total cost of the lease. What we get for that is a lower monthly payment, right? So we're actually gonna lower the monthly payment on the lease over the existing lease, which will mean less impact on dues. We get new equipment, which I think is in members' interests, and it's easier to manage. So that's where my preference is on, and that seems to be where the preferences of the majority of the board were.
And you are looking to get $36,000 or so from the TNC reserved,
No,
from the
Nope.
operating budget,
no, so it's 580 a month. So
60 months, $36,000.
it's 35,480. So as we voted, the 588 payments for the remainder of 2024 will come out of the TNC, which is
5,700.
and then going forward, that 588 per month will go on to operating, which is approximately 7,100 per year added to the operating budget.
And this was already put into this would be from 2025 budget though, that you will add that.
The vote commits us to put that onto the operating for 2025.
Okay, so 2024 remainder would be from this budget,
It'll be out of the TNC.
out of the TNC.
Budget 12.
And 2025 would be out of the operating budget.
That's correct. Does that answer your questions?
Somewhat.
Can I help, Laura?
No, it's just that, we are trying to save money to the community and just,
In the
we're
long,
not doing it.
in the long run, you will cost the community 10 times more money if you purchase that equipment.
I don't think so, but,
And to replace it, that's the good thing
It would
about,
be significant to replace it. There's already machines that are broken in there. I mean, if you're paying all this money to have a nice place and have a nice facility, if I'm gonna be paying a lot of money, I better be having new equipment. That's just, to even think about purchasing it doesn't even make any sense.
Well,
From a
okay.
perspective from someone who works out.
And then what you also gotta realize is that new equipment, like the gym is open, like the first 2 years, we didn't have the gym open, so that stuff is gonna even get more traffic going forward.
Yeah.
Oh, it's used,
Oh, I know,
it's more than I ever thought.
100%.
There is somebody in there just about every hour this building is open, somebody is in that.
I also can tell you that the bike, the public bike was slipping when I went raw the other day, so there's a problem with that has to
Yeah.
get addressed, so.
The row machine has something that's broken on it. The elliptical machine is already making noise,
This is all a good thing, that this equipment is being used,
Yeah.
you know, so.
Leslie, I also want to clarify just on the communication, because it's not my preference to vote over email either, and it's not a circumstance that I wanted to. I would prefer that we discuss things in person prior to a vote. I want to say that out loud, and I hope you take me at my word on that. I reached out for Advantage for a quote on the 23rd of February. I didn't get an initial quote until March 25th. And that was it wasn't kind of correct. There were some details that were missing. I didn't get a correct quote that included everything that I wanted for us to look at, or at least kind of have a complete picture of the situation until the 3rd of April. And I sent that to Patrick on April 4th. And then there was just a delay in it getting sent out to the board, but I was working on this for a long time, and it just takes two to tango. It took a long time for me to get the information to report to all y'all. And by that point, the lease was on the point of expiration. So I recognize that the communication in an ideal world, I wish we would have communicated about this earlier. I wish we could have had this in person. I did my best. I can't present information that I don't have in hand, and it just took a long time to get the stuff from Advantage. I wish.
And I understand that because we, I'm in the industry as well, that I requested
Yeah.
quote and it takes me a couple of weeks to get it.
Yeah.
But at least to let us know, hey, guys, we're looking for a quote for this.
Right.
I'll let you know when I get it.
And I have done
In the
that.
meantime, we were just dump this for us to vote online on an email without having no background. We didn't discuss, nothing, that this was even in the works,
That's not really true.
So we didn't know that you were, that you even met with these people.
So
We fully discussed at the last board meeting that was the intent, or one of the previous board meetings, that he was getting the quote, that he was working on this. That there were two different options on the table. It's not something that's a surprise.
I can look at my notes.
Go
and
ahead.
If you know what, if I have
Pending
it,
no more
then I
formal
have it.
discussion on the
It's
motion,
my
I think we
mistake.
should move on the agenda. So next up is for a board vote. On tab 2, you're going to see a request for the renewal of the application for Lloyd Kurth, who was the vendor for the hot dog cart at the pool. He has added commissions and Italian ices to his offerings. We just need to approve him for the 2024 season, so if there's a motion on the table to approve that.
What is it again? I'm sorry.
Lloyd Kurth, he runs the hot dog cart that was at the pool last year. Chris has a motion to approve Lloyd Kurth. Is there a second?
I second.
Joel has seconded the motion.
may I just to confirm with management before we proceed to a vote? This has your support and there's no.
Oh, there was no problems. I do think the membership liked something being there. That's our full support.
Thank you.
All those in favor, say aye.
Aye.
All those opposed, say no. Any abstentions or recusals? There are none. The motion carries to approve Lloyd Kurth for the 2023 season. Next up is the financial review. Our treasurer, Dan, is absent today. However, he had emailed us the two things. First off, he emailed the pre-audit financials on 4/15, just for our review. More to be in that category as we move forward. He is currently in the process of, I believe, working with management and the accountants on their formal review. For voting purposes, under tab 3, you're going to find the treasurer's report for the March 2024 financials. We were also emailed an update for notes for that as well. Is there a motion to approve the March financials? Chris motions to approve the March financials. Is there a second? Leslie seconds. All in favor to approve the March financials, say aye.
Aye.
All opposed, say no. Any abstentions or refusals? Telling none, the motion carries to approve the March 2024 financials. Okay, with us is Alan from the Water Company for any general updates.
Good morning.
Good morning.
We're proceeding with the rate books. They keep asking for information and sending it back. We're still on track, probably about 2 months before we get a definite answer. The other thing is an email was sent out this week, starting tomorrow, water companies will be flushing the hydrants. Just so everybody's aware, if you want to get down a little bit, just let it run. This is done to get the sediment out of the lines and make sure all the stuff is working, the hydrants, the valves and whatnot. That's really it.
Exercising of the valves.
Exercising the valves, correct. That's it.
Thank you, Alan.
Thank you.
Okay, moving right along to our committee reports. First up, we have the Lakes Committee. Joel?
Basically, the Lakes Committee, I believe in May, we're gonna be having the C-slap pipe, you're okay with that, I guess, so. There's gonna be about 5 different lake communities coming, to our property, and we'll be using the pool house to conduct training. Marcy and Wild, and just had a brain freeze on her husband's name. Brad, thank you, very nicely donated their boat to be used, because there's gonna be some work that's gonna be done on the lake. So we'll be doing that, we'll keep people posted, and when that happens, we plan on going ahead with the fish stocking. That'll probably be once the treasure comes back up to the level. Mike, I know you told me that the dam treasure has been closed, so hopefully that, God willing, that should fill up. And that's about it. Yeah,
I'm sorry, I'm blindsiding you.
No problem.
There's that, stump
oh, yeah,
that's floating around,
Yeah, sure.
Lake Louise Marie. Unfortunately, the office or the Emerald Green does not own any boats,
okay,
tugboats, whatever.
whatever.
So if somebody gets that and at least gets it to one of the launches, whether it's Lake Louise Marie's or ours, we will get it out of the lake. I just have no way to get it out of the middle of the lake.
I'll coordinate with you before that happens, all right? Because one of us will put, if I work, I'll put my little rowboat in and tow it. It's not gonna be.
Right, it's just if somebody does it with the small boat, you know, once you have a couple back, or you could take it right to the dam. You might wanna stay right in that deep channel, go right down through the middle and take it over to the dam.
You can take it out on the other side by the dam, it's not a problem.
Yeah, we just have to be able to get a crane in there to lift it out. So it's,
So it's one of the 2 points.
it's
Dam-
gotta, yeah.
How big is this,
Oh, it's must be pretty.
like
It's that
the one that,
It's the one that had for the sign on it for all the years that somebody put a sign on it. I think it was over by the end of Timber Point there or something. It's finally taken off.
Also, thank you guys, you saw this, we got, the release committee, we got our fishing, catch and release signs over there. Question, do you guys have extra, you know, those green poles that you use? Do we have any extra ones, or do we need to buy?
I don't have extra.
Okay, that, I guess what you need is just, we just screw it in, which is no big deal, we drill a hole and boom, so we'll work to put that out, by the next meeting.
My, extra staff starts May 1st, so
Okay.
after that point, we'll be.
We're with you. We're good. So, that's it for me.
Actually, next up, Joel, you're on.
Oh,
board
yeah,
committee too.
okay. So the pool committee. So, we had a meeting, our first meeting with the pool committee on March 27th. What I'd like to do is ask that the board approve Alan Shantz and Mark Becker to become, committee members. I would think so.
Okay, so there's a motion on the table. Alan and Mark, full committee,
Second. Okay, second.
that's like your other second.
Okay.
All those in favor of approving those two
Aye.
additions,
Aye.
all those opposed, any abstentions or refusals, bar none, the motion
That's
passes.
good. Okay, good. So then some of the things that we spoke about was, you know, the pool attendant, like, I noticed that the pool attendant hangs out inside the building. What is it? We'd like to have that table moved down and let him stay outside, give him an umbrella, but it doesn't do us any good in the building. This way he can see better what's going on. Two, if there are kids in that back pool, he should probably be over there, just, you know, looking at it, seeing what's going on. We talked about the passes and trying to control those passes, just on the weekend when I believe, Janet is there, I guess, during the weekend. You plan on doing that again? Right?
Mhm.
So.
We're not discussing management issues on how we do that now,
No,
are we?
no.
Okay, so the committee's gonna come to us.
Would you like to maybe move this to workshop and then we
Sure.
can workshop it as a board with management?
Fine.
Those recommendations and we can put
Fine.
them in an email to do that?
Fine, no
Okay,
problem.
so maybe.
Yeah, that way, you know, there's a couple of layers of management involved here, so.
Yep, no problem at all. Let's, other than that, we talked about if there's any money laying around to get more chairs for the pool. You know, that was that. If not, then we'll try and put it in next year's budget. And other than that, everybody else has the notes so they can read them and that's it. Yeah.
If there is money laying around, how many chairs you looking for? How many chairs?
Well, I guess it'd be the change chairs that I'd leave it up to you, probably for you, but like 10 or 15 chairs at least. If not, if we can get 20, that'd be great. I know I've been plenty of times last year when I was at the pool, I was hunting for chairs, so. You know, and a couple of times I brought my own chair.
The chase lines.
Chase items, yeah.
So I have to make a commitment to look at the workshop for the following month, May 7th. We can
Yep.
put this in like an
Sure.
agenda.
Yep,
And then
yep,
we can
yep.
work with management on that.
Yep,
That's-
perfect. That
okay.
works wonderful.
Great,
Thank
and
you.
then we can roundtable it.
Yeah,
Thank you.
okay, I'm done.
Okay, next is the bylaws. I think they did not have a meeting.
No.
Okay. Oversight, Earl is absent. He said there was a meeting held on 4/16. We'll report out separately. Strategic planning and finance, no meeting. Events and welcoming, you've been updated with the report from the meeting. Chris, do you want to do a quick recap?
Get them in there.
So the short version is that we are in the process of drafting a calendar for summer events, just as we did last summer, with the idea that that calendar, at least in draft form, will be available for distribution, if not by the end of this month, then hopefully by the end of May. And, you know, that calendar will include it, as with last year, it'll include not only the regular fitness classes that we offer, and as well as events hosted, sponsored by EGPOA, but also community events going on in Rock Hill and in surrounding communities. We have a couple of events on deck that are in planning and we're excited about. Hopefully some repeats from last year, like the Summer Olympics. And we're also always in the market for people who want to step forward and host an event. Just a reminder, it's a volunteer committee. We don't have a kind of a staff to, we don't have camp counselors. So if folks want to see more events, we would love for you to reach out to us and just tell us your idea. If you're willing to pitch an idea and you're willing to show up and do it, we're willing to support you. And
just to tack on to that, just a big thank you to everybody who showed up for the cleanup on the 14th. If you're wondering what's coming up, if you're trying to plan ahead, we will be doing the s'mores, the welcoming s'mores for Memorial Day weekend on the Sunday, if you just want to note that on your calendars. And then all of the fitness offers. And there's going to be another book club email that is going out this week.
So this Memorial Day weekend s'mores, event is for new homeowners?
No, it's the same one that ran last year. It's the Sunday of Memorial Day weekend. It's an evening event at 7 o'clock. We put up the fire pits. A lot of people attended last year. Big attendance last year.
huge attendance last year. It seemed like it's good. It's on the beach at the lake.
It's easy.
Everybody's welcome.
Mhm.
Hope you can see that.
Go back a second, so Elise.
Yeah.
Michael, you spoke about like the control of the boat launch there. Do you want to send that an email to, because basically you need to fill out the waiver with you know.
Right, so for right now, if the boat launch is, thank you. If you have the waiver access to the lake. So if you have signed your waiver access to the lake, the card works similar to the gym.
Right.
I'm sure there's going to be issues that are gonna have to be dealt with, because it's Saturday morning, 10 o'clock. I'm here to put my boat in, I can't get the launch open, and so just heads up for you guys. Because it's Saturday morning and.
Should we send something to the
Proactively.
community
Mhm.
saying, hey, we're putting the boat out, you come late first, you get your boat slip, or if you're not gonna, if you wanna launch a boat,
Well, it's not just,
it's for everybody, it's for every lake.
well, but that's the whole thing. It's not, I mean, how we kind of have it set right now is just for whoever signed the waiver.
Right.
But, you know, somebody on the other side of the lake on Scarborough Circle, they still gotta get their boat in and out, so I don't know if they're gonna sign a waiver, because they don't have anything to use, so that's where some of our issues are gonna come in on.
What do you mean, as far as?
Well, if they wanna, Mr. XYZ, who has lived 20 years on, you know, Scarborough Circle and wants to put his boat in next Sunday, and his card doesn't give him access.
So he's gotta fill out the waiver.
Yeah, but my guy's here right now with the boat.
Right, well, that's what I'm saying, we need to send something out.
Right,
We need to send something.
but we have been sending out about it as well.
Okay.
You know, you've had send out notices that you
Well,
gotta
we're gonna
sign.
have to, not to jump around, but we're gonna have to send another email out about the waivers, because we have to remember that we have the new pool waiver.
Yeah.
Your card won't access the pool if you don't have that waiver set out, so that's something that needs to get,
Yep,
you know,
We
that's
will
a.
include that information in that one.
Yeah.
right, that's all.
And since we, and I'm kind of jumping too, and I'm sorry, but it has to do with the boats. I just had it yesterday. What are we doing with the storage area? Because people are wanting to get their boats in and out, and we're only open during normal business hours. Nobody's here on Saturday. I mean, our summer staff is starting in the next few weeks. We could possibly do
I would say.
Saturday here, you know,
I have a quick question. Is this going to be an issue before May 7th?
probably.
Yeah, well,
Okay.
May 1, the vote.
I'm just asking, because if we have a workshop to address this, you're saying we have to address it sooner than later.
Yeah, we need to address this sooner than later, whether, you know, because people are gonna wanna get in to get their things that are
You got a
sorted.
boat outside there, does anybody know there's no sticker on it, right?
Oh, that was put out there for a reason.
The concerns right now for opening storage areas, need for staffing on the weekends.
Or we just don't lock it anymore, because you have no control, the gates are working, so if you have a.
Well, that's fine for maybe the month of May or something, we might be able to do something like that. Our problem is not so much the boats,
Mhm.
it's the contractors bringing
Junk.
not junk, the compost, branches, you know, it's supposed to be, and homeowners, you know, it's not just contractors, but they're in and out all the time. Once again, they still have to get through the gate, I mean,
So if a contractor comes on Saturday, you're not here, he's not coming in because he doesn't have access. But if a homeowner in good standing comes with his pass and gets in the gate, why can't he go back there? It's just, same thing's being locked.
So it sounds like the spitballing this, the best idea in your mind is to have some Saturday availability. And
probably may, you know, that may be, I mean, we do have staff starting, so.
so is there something, I guess my question is, you know, aside from communicating with us and with homeowners about what you're gonna do, is there something you need from the board? Is there a vote, is there an authorization you need to do that, or is that just?
Well, the authorization from you guys was, well, I guess that was really from me, so.
Why do we need?
All right, I don't need you, see you later.
Why do we need staff if we just unlock it?
No, but we were talking about whether we needed a motion to reopen that, because remember we formally closed it, but Michael said we eventually make that.
Management issue.
It's a matter.
Management. That's a stealthy-
Thank
You're
you.
welcome.
Thank you.
Okay.
Don't say we don't give you any power.
All right.
And then you're okay with what we spoke about, like if, let's say if, one of the guys, come in, one of the vendors come in with a boat, have to launch it, they just have to coordinate with you.
So it's what management.
If Bradford comes and says, hey, I gotta go pick up Joel's boat, cause I wanna launch it, so he needs access in here, and he needs access.
Well,
in the
that would
boat.
almost be like a contractor, right? He would have to come during the
Agreed,
normal
agreed,
business
and I
hours.
think he would let you know what's going on, you know, beforehand.
I feel like this is not.
Yeah.
Yep. Management figuring out how to solve a very
Yep,
particular
I'm with
problem.
you, I'm with you.
Okay, before we open up,
Sorry.
that's okay, for community questions, just so everybody knows, the next regular board meeting is scheduled for Sunday, May 19th. And now they're time to open questions to the community.
Wait, tell me,
Thank you.
9:30. Good
I
job.
don't see any hands right now, but I'm just gonna give a quick second.
Are there questions in the chat?
There's a question about the egg addling in the chat room.
Thank you.
Will you please address the specifics on goose egg addling in this meeting?
For what?
And
Yeah,
there's
addling.
another one saying that there are solar powered security cameras.
Oh, okay.
Great, thanks, man.
So how the egg addling works is, they go around and, goose are kind of like salmon, they go to the same place all the time to, lay their eggs. We actually have a GPS location of their nest every year. What they do is they come and they puncture with the birds, the geese, chickens, whatever it is, they continue to lay eggs. If they sit on eggs, then they stop laying eggs. So what happens is the goose will lay a nest of eggs and lay in them, obviously to hatch them. If somebody goes in and destroys those eggs, an animal or a person takes them out, the goose starts laying eggs again until they fill their nest up. So what the biologists or the people that come in, take care of the egg addling is, they take a needle and puncture the egg. And then, the egg does not, there is a physical egg that's left there. The goose thinks they're laying on fertile eggs, lays on the eggs, nothing happens, no goslings at all. That's how it works.
Okay, if there's a follow-up to that, just please put it in the chat. Mark, I just saw your question regarding, I believe it was to ask Michael if security could have access to regarding what just happened on Sunday or with the kid with the quad on the beach. I think he was asking, can
Can we
security?
address the pool security having access to cameras on the laptop?
Why don't we do that at the management, when we do the workshop?
Well, so it was like,
I
the way
guess-
this works, if everybody just, if you. That incident that was over at the pool, if somebody had called the office after hours. There's two prompts there. There's an after water emergency and an after hour maintenance emergency. You do the after hours maintenance emergency, that call is doing one of two things. It's either going to me or it's going to Brittany, no matter where we are. We happened to be away at my daughter's wedding. We would have got that notification as soon as we would have went on the cameras, looked at it, seen what was going on and addressed the issue. So people
Not just what happened, but for the summer to help monitor.
Guys, there's new cameras out right now, they're like
That's
$200-300, and you could even have audio. You could talk to them, hey, get out.
Well, we have all that.
No, I'm saying, but these are very inexpensive. I'm sure our cameras are a lot more money. I mean, I'm talking they come in a set of 4. And it'll be separate from what, so if the whoever the security guard is at that time, they just have access to those cameras, like the beach,
Well,
the pool.
I think
the
the question.
the security will have access to our cameras.
Okay.
I think the question that, like, correct me if I'm wrong, the homeowner is asking why not give access to the board members as well?
No.
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 No. Security?
I don't want access, just security.
So with security, we'll have access once everything's fully up and functioning to whatever place they are. So if they're at the pool, they'll have access to the security cameras at the pool. If they're here, they'll have access to the security cameras here.
And they monitor those 24/7?
Nobody monitors 24/7.
So they just monitor the cameras while they are on the clock?
Correct.
So who monitors when they're not on the clock?
But we monitor.
That
Well, all
would
the
be, we
cameras-
bounce ourselves.
So that's what would happen is if there's an incident, Michael would have to go back to that
Right,
day
footage
and look at it.
recorded.
No one's looking at these
Right,
cameras
right.
24 hours, 7 days a week. That's not happening.
We have
to
2 months of storage.
Okay.
So.
I think there was another question. that came in.
Yeah, so what hours? What are the hours that the security cameras are watched by the office? I think we just covered that. And then the other one was just. And Marcy and Brad Wild said that they will ask questions about the goose verbally.
Great.
Oh, are you coming on then? Okay.
Yeah, can I do that now? Thanks. So, yeah, thank you for the explanation, but the questions were more regarding, the vast majority of the shoreline is private homes, private land. I know that if I saw somebody prowling through my backyard, walking through the bushes, I would probably call the police. So I just wonder, logistically, how will this happen? When will this happen? Will notice be given to homeowners to expect somebody to come around? I do know where 1 or maybe 2 of the nests are. I only saw it 1 year, so they have not repeatedly nested in that spot. But this has the potential to be a huge problem. I know that geese just land for a rest stop and keep on going. But last year we had a huge number of geese, and it's potentially dangerous, the goose poop and the contamination and the nuisance and all of that stuff. So, and when will this be done? And then, because we're a homeowners association, what is the cost of this? So I just think, I'd like more answers, and I know that I'm not the only one because I've spoken to other people about it. Thanks.
Look at the cost of the budget, it's covered in the offer.
Right.
Yeah, I think it's 3,000 or
It was around that last year.
5,000, I
Between
think is
3 and 5,
budget.
yeah.
Right, it's definitely in the budget every year. That's both.
So, I guess, Marcy, you're just, the ones that are on Lake Louise Marie are checked, because once again, they're, pretty much they come back to the same area. If you share, tomorrow, the location of the nest you're talking about, we can see if that's taken care of. It is taken care of, it's taken care of in the early morning hours. Most of the activity for the geese are on Treasure Lake, is where they do most of their nesting. Treasure Lake and Davies Lake, because there isn't as much activity around those lakes. That's what they have found in the past. So what they do is they come in and do what they have to do.
And I think if a homeowner sees a nest on their.
Yeah, we've stated that before. If homeowners see nests, they should
Cool.
notify us so we can get them in and look at them and make sure that we can take care of it. It doesn't have to do, the summer molting is a little different than what the egg addling. I mean, it's not 100%. I think last year was 38 eggs were destroyed.
34, 6 nests, 34 eggs.
Oh, there you go.
On 4/15, it looks like around on 2023, it happened on 4/15, and in 2022, it happened on 4/16, around the same.
And Marcy,
Different streets too.
Marcy, the question about costs, we have $3,000 budgeted in the operating budget. It's code 6342, for those of you who are keeping score at home. $3,000 budgeted, that's the same as it was last year.
Thanks. And what is the timing that they'll be doing this?
Yesterday.
Yesterday? Really?
Yesterday.
It was done
Yes.
yesterday?
Yep.
Okay. And I'm assuming and hoping that the person who does it is savvy enough to know that goose eggs are not the same as duck eggs.
Oh, yeah, they're all
They're-
wildlife biologists.
Yeah, this isn't
Good.
something you could just go to Home Depot and hire somebody. They have to be licensed to the state. One of the people involved is, 3 of them involved are retired biologists from the state, so it's not something that you can just do. They have to be licensed to do all of this.
Also, moving forward, if you want to set your notifications for next year, it seems like every year around mid-April is when we do this. So if you want to contact the office around the beginning of April, then you could get added.
What they have to do is they have to give them a chance to lay their eggs,
Right.
is what they have to. The goal is to keep those goose sitting on dead eggs. That's the goal. So
Okay.
they can go out and lay
Because
more.
I know last year we had well over 40 babies and they didn't come from another lake because they were too little to fly. They could barely waddle. So, that was a lot. And
Once again, if you see a nest,
Mhm.
let us, if anybody sees a nest on the lake, please let us know so we can get that in,
For the following.
for the following year, and we can make sure they can get in and take care of that.
Yeah, I notified last year, but I can do it again. Sure. Thank you.
There's a nest on Davies, out on the rock, she laid her clutch. So,
Mhm.
do you have any little questions?
Nope, that was it.
Okay, just one last chance to open it up to the community before I ask for a motion to go into executive session. Okay, can I have a motion to go into executive? Chris motion for executive session, if I have a second, Joel seconds. I'm open to let everybody release. Thank you, everybody, for attending the May.
Record.
No.
No, we have to come back. What? April, we're in April, sorry, April meeting.
Okay, I'm gonna stop recording, and if everyone could log off, that's not a board member. If you do not log off, I will log you off. Thank
Record.
you.
Alana, you got the record.
Mhm.
Ooh.